Hello and welcome to week 2 of our series, Where is the Joy? In your Grow Groups. It is so good to have you here together as a group. I hope you've taken time today to pray together, to catch up on your week and see how things are going. We're looking at how we can take this joy that we've experienced from Christmas and continuing to carry it into our lives in this new year as we face the realities that we've been experiencing this whole time. How can we find joy in the middle of difficult situations? Today, in week 2, we're going to be talking about health, and I'm joined by Brandy Molina, our Director of Missions here at Plattwoods.
Hello.
Brandy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
So good.
Good.
I'm so glad that you got to join us with this one today.
Yeah, thanks.
Health is a weird, diverse topic, and so I'm really
Yeah.
excited and curious to see where this conversation gets to go. But first, throw some buzzwords in. What is your favorite or go-to form of self-care?
Well, first, I think it depends on the time of year because I'll choose like different activities or different things depending on like the weather or my mood or whatever is happening with my schedule. But probably the two most consistent things that I do is one, treating myself to like a nice cup of coffee, like someone else preparing it for me. And the other one would be to take a hot bath. Like that's my form of like relaxation, meditation, time by myself, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Are you like a lavender vibe? What's your go-to
Yes.
scent?
Yeah. Lavender, Dr. Teal's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like to put in there?
Just bath salts, bubble bath. Yeah.
I love it. There's nothing better than just like hanging out and just like that moment of relaxation you can hit.
Yeah. Well, I'm someone who I don't like to be cold.
No.
And so, like, even in the summertime, like, I want that, like, 120-degree bath. Like, we need to have a hot tub. That's just really what needs to happen. I would probably live in it. But, yeah, I don't know. I just love, that's relaxing for me. So I don't understand people who are not bath people. Like, there's people who are not bath people.
Yeah, and it's like, no, like you're getting clean and it smells really good and you can just take a deep breath. Like, it's fine.
Well, and for a mom, it's like bath time, not always, but bath time is usually the only time you're like by yourself, except for when like my daughter sneaks in, she wakes up and sneaks in. But like that's it. That's like your only alone time. So,
Just really treasure it.
gotta revel in that. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something too to like having someone else prepare things for us. So like to me, I buy coffee out quite a bit, but having someone else cook a meal for me, like that's some self-care, like ordering out.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. So as we're having this conversation about health, I was curious, what do you think of when you hear the word health?
Well, I think health encompasses a lot of different things. I think a lot of people probably think physical health, but I really think about mental health a lot. I don't know. I just, for some reason, my mind goes there.
Yeah, mine always starts with physical health.
Yeah.
And I think that's because it's the one that I'm always like avoiding the most.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like a small conviction of like, oh, maybe I should do something to like eat better or move more or take care of my body. Because I can find excuses to work on my mental health easier than
Yeah.
my physical health. Yeah. Spiritual is one that I rarely come to, I feel like. Or like emotional health. I guess those fall in mental.
Yeah. I mean, they all kind of have their own little. They could go together. Yeah.
Yeah. It all ties in. It's such a big concept
Yeah.
and you can't really completely divide it up in any way because they do all affect one another.
They all correlate.
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that leads in perfectly to the next question then. So how does your health and your faith impact one another?
okay, if I go back to what I said I focus on most, which is mental health, right? I think that your faith and your spiritual health and mental health really do go together very well. And the reason why I say that is because, like just for me personally, in my, teens, early 20s, I struggled with depression. I had anxiety. Having like my faith to lean on in those times was really, really beneficial, really something that kind of pulled me out of some really dark times. And so, I just think that they really go together. I mean,
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's all kinds of ways that it can factor in. I find like joy in the things that my body can do when I'm thinking physical health and my faith. And I thank God for that. Like we have these really cool, intricate bodies.
right.
And so my body can't do everything, but the things it can do, I'm like, yay. And same with my mental health, like you said. It's meditation's really great, but when you integrate prayer into that and bring someone else into that space, because a lot of my mental health issues are more stemming from like loneliness and isolation.
Sure.
And so that reminder of like, oh, right, I'm not.
You're not alone. Yeah.
Yes, there's someone here with me, in some form, in some sense, and so that's cool. And so you're right. Like I think it elevates our spiritual life, elevates our physical and mental health, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's so cool. Well, then, where can you find joy in your own health?
I just think, well, like you said with physical health, that you like the fact that your body is able to do something. Like I love the challenge in that. Like that makes me excited. Like if I have, I don't know. I mean, I used to do 5Ks and like, for example, okay, I got one. So several years ago, I did the Tough Mudder, which do you know what the Tough Mudder is?
Is that the 13-mile one?
So
tell us more.
Maybe. I don't know how long it is, but it has like every so many yards or whatever, it has like a challenge. So you have to like do a rope climbing, or you have to like swim in an ice bath or something like that. Okay, so you have to carry like a big log on your shoulder, or I don't know, all these different things. And it's really challenging. But like for that, for example, like I was really nervous to do that, but like doing something physical that you don't feel like you can do or that you know is going to be challenging, and then like being done with it at the end of it, it's like, oh wow, like I did that. That was really cool. And it like feeds you, like you feel, I don't know, you just feel good. It's awesome. I don't know. I love that.
That's so cool. On a much smaller scale, I used to like do and teach Zumba, and I remember, so I'm not a dancer. Like I am so wildly uncoordinated, it's magical. And so like when you would finally get like even just a move down, like because my poor instructor, when I would look at her, I cannot imagine the dirty looks I was giving her. Like, what is she doing with her feet? Like once you get it, you're like, I did a thing. And like you said, you leave at the end going, oh, I showed up, I committed, I took time for myself. Yeah. And there's joy in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That process of like learning something new, or just like being able to overcome something you didn't think you could do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think God created us with the different chemicals that are released when we overcome things and we can do cool things and move. I think Jesus set a really great example of caring for ourselves and eating well and stepping aside. We talked about last week, stepping aside to rest when we need to, because that's an important part of physical and mental health as well.
That's huge self-care, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so there's so much joy, too, in knowing that we're finding ourselves in that example.
Yeah.
And hopefully setting that for others, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then we get to share our journeys with our good friends and
I know.
in our incredible groups.
And now I know that you can teach Zumba.
Yes, once upon a time. It was a blast. We don't say that out loud very often.
That Zumba was a blast?
Yeah, that I used to teach it.
Oh.
Now people think I'm coordinated, and I don't want that lie spreading. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this today, Brandy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part of our staff and doing the incredible mission work that you do here and leading everybody. And thank you all for joining together in your groups. If you're interested in serving in missions in incredible different ways, Brandy is your go-to girl. She's got all kinds of avenues for that to happen and finding joy in the midst of that. And so this week, take some time, care for yourself, care for one another, and we pray a blessing over your conversations. We'll see you next week.